Welcome back. In our previous session, we explored the why and what of prompt engineering, the different techniques we can use to guide AI. Now, we're going to get practical. We're going to build your toolbox with a set of proven, structural guidelines. Think of these as the best practices, the rules of the road, that will turn your good prompts into great ones. By the end of this session, you'll have a clear checklist to run any prompt through, ensuring it's clear, fair, and effective before you even hit send. So, why do we need guidelines? Because without a solid structure, prompting can feel hit or miss. Sometimes you get a brilliant answer, other times something completely off base. These guidelines are here to change that. They provide a reliable framework, a consistent approach that boosts the quality of every single prompt you write. They help you move from being a casual user to a skilled practitioner who can get predictable, high-quality results from AI every time. Here's our roadmap for this session. We're going to dive into each of these principles. We'll start with the absolute fundamentals, being clear and specific, and providing context. Then we'll move into how to focus the response and why you should use natural language. We'll also talk about tailoring your prompts by considering the audience and clearly stating the objective. And finally, we'll cover the more advanced, but equally crucial, topics of allowing for creativity, checking for bias, and the importance of pilot testing and iterating. Each one is a lever you can pull to get better results. Let's start with the foundation: clarity and specificity. If your prompt is vague, the AI's response will be vague. It's that simple. Clarity means having a single, well-defined goal and using plain, straightforward language. Avoid jargon and ambiguity. Specificity is about drilling down. Don't ask for features. Ask for the single most impactful feature from the last release. Don't ask for problems. Ask for the two primary obstacles that hindered sprint progress. By combining a clear goal with specific details, you give the AI a laser-focused target to aim for. Let's see this in action. A great prompt for a product owner isn't "tell me about the last release." It's this: identify the single most impactful feature from the last release based on user feedback and describe its effect on user engagement metrics. It's clear, it's specific, and it tells the AI exactly what information to pull. For a Scrum Master, instead of "how was the sprint?" you'd ask, list the two primary obstacles that hindered sprint progress and outline specific strategies adopted to address them. You're guiding the AI to give you a concise, actionable report, not a general impression. Next, we have context and background. A prompt doesn't exist in a vacuum. By providing context, you're framing the entire inquiry. You're telling the AI, this is the situation, this is the scenario. For example, instead of asking what feature should we build, you provide context based on our upcoming sprint goal of improving user onboarding. What features should we prioritize? The background information, the sprint goal. Dramatically changes and improves the AI's response, making it relevant to your current reality, not just general knowledge. Here's how that plays out. For a product owner, a prompt with context is: identify the top 3 user stories prioritized for the upcoming sprint, detailing the rationale behind each selection and their alignment with the project's overarching goals. The context of the upcoming sprint and overarching goals forces the AI to think strategically. For a QA engineer, instead of "how's the testing?" you'd ask, evaluate the effectiveness of the latest testing framework implemented for the project. By providing the context of the latest testing framework, you get a focused evaluation of a specific change, which is far more useful than a general update. Another key guideline is learning how to focus the response with direct queries. This is about being concise and intentional. Each prompt should have a singular, clear objective. Avoid asking multiple, unrelated questions in one prompt, as this will confuse the AI and lead to a muddled answer. Use concise language and targeted questioning. Instead of a rambling paragraph, get straight to the point. Tell the AI exactly what you want it to do: prioritize, list, describe, or propose. This directness is a sign of a well-engineered prompt. For a Scrum Master, a focused prompt is: identify the main impediments hindering the team's progress in the current sprint and propose actionable strategies to overcome them. It has one job: identify and propose. For the development team, it's describe the specific technical challenges encountered during the implementation of the last user story and outline the steps taken to resolve them. Notice the singular objective and the clear, action-oriented language. These prompts don't leave room for the AI to wander off topic. They pin down exactly what you need to know. Now, an often overlooked guideline is to consider the audience. Who is going to read or respond to this? In our context, we have two audiences: the human team members and the AI itself. For human audiences, You tailor your language to be empathetic, culturally sensitive, and appropriate for their role. For the AI, you tailor your language to be structured and unambiguous. This means avoiding slang and idioms that the AI might interpret literally. When you write a prompt for a developer, you can use technical terms. When you write a prompt for a stakeholder, you simplify. The same principle applies to talking to the AI. Here's a great example of tailoring for a specific machine audience, like an AI fine-tuned for science and programming. The prompt for a QA engineer is, as a QA engineer, identify and prioritize critical bugs in the software codebase, ensuring compatibility with scientific algorithms and programming logic. The language is clear, structured, and uses the precise terminology, scientific algorithms, programming logic, that this specialized AI model would understand best. You're speaking its language to get the most expert response. Tailoring isn't just about simplifying, it's about matching the linguistic style to the specific audience, human or machine. While structure is vital, we don't want our prompts to sound like robots talking to robots. Engaging with natural language is about striking the right balance between clarity and a conversational, approachable tone. Especially when the AI's output is meant for human consumption, using a friendly, inviting tone in your prompt can lead to more creative and relatable results. Think of it as setting the mood for the interaction. A warm, collaborative prompt often yields a more thoughtful and engaging response. Look at the difference a conversational tone makes. For a product owner, instead of a formal request, the prompt is, hey, let's brainstorm. We're gearing up for the next sprint. What are 2-3 features you think would add real value and delight our users? Share your thoughts freely. No bad ideas here. It's inviting, it's positive, and it explicitly encourages creative thinking. For a developer, we're tackling a new challenge this sprint. What are your initial thoughts on the feasibility? This feels like a collaborative huddle, not a task assignment. It prompts a more open and insightful response. Every great prompt has a purpose. Clearly stating the objective is about being upfront with the AI about what you want to achieve. Are you asking it to analyze, to summarize, to brainstorm, or to decide? Use action-oriented language that matches your goal. Analyze this data, synthesize these findings, recommend a course of action. When you are explicit about the desired outcome, you prime the AI to structure its response in a way that is immediately useful to you, saving you time and effort in interpreting the results. For a product owner, a purposeful prompt is, select the highest priority user story from the backlog and justify its inclusion. The verbs select and justify tell the AI exactly what to do. For a development team, it's identify one technical challenge and propose solutions to overcome it. The objectives are crystal clear: identify and propose. This isn't just about getting information, it's about getting a specific type of output, a decision with a rationale or a problem with a solution. That's the power of stating your objective clearly. Sometimes you don't want a precise, factual answer. Sometimes you want to innovate. That's when you need to allow for creativity. This means deliberately crafting prompts that break the AI out of its standard response patterns. Use open-ended questions that have no single right answer. Pose hypothetical scenarios. Ask for personal insights or challenge conventional assumptions. By giving the AI permission to be imaginative, you can unlock novel ideas and unique perspectives that you might never have considered on your own. Here's how you spark creativity. For a product owner, instead of list features, ask beyond the usual features, what unconventional ideas could delight our users and set us apart from competitors? You're explicitly asking for the unconventional. For a Scrum Master facing a constraint, you could ask, if our team had to deliver the next product iteration with half the resources, how would you prioritize tasks and maintain quality? This scenario-based question forces strategic and creative thinking under pressure. For a developer, combining concepts can yield innovation. How would you integrate AI and blockchain technology to enhance our current software solution? These prompts open doors, they don't just open files. As we become more skilled at directing AI, we must also become more responsible. A critical guideline is to check for bias. AI models learn from the data they're trained on, and that data can contain biases. If our prompts are leading or contain assumptions, we can amplify those biases. We need to use neutral, inclusive language and avoid making assumptions about a user's background, beliefs, or abilities. Crafting a bias-free prompt is about ensuring the AI's response is fair, representative, and useful for everyone. Let's see what bias checking looks like in practice. For a product owner, instead of asking how to appeal to a typical user, you'd ask, considering the global market, what features should we prioritize to cater to a wide range of cultural preferences? This actively seeks diverse input. For a Scrum Master, a bias-aware prompt is, what strategies have proven most effective in fostering inclusive communication among team members with diverse backgrounds? It acknowledges diversity instead of ignoring it. And for a QA engineer in planning the next sprint, how can we ensure our product enhancements are accessible to users with disabilities? This builds inclusivity and accessibility directly into the product definition. Our final guideline is perhaps the most important pilot test and iterate. No one writes a perfect prompt on the first try. The best prompt engineers are relentless iterators. They start small, test their prompts with a diverse group, and gather feedback. They analyze the responses, looking for patterns of confusion or misunderstanding. Then, they refine the prompt and test again. They document their changes to learn what works and what doesn't. This cycle of continuous improvement is what separates a one-time trick from a repeatable, reliable skill. Your prompts will evolve, and so will you. And that brings us to the end of our session on prompt structure guidelines. You now have a powerful framework to build upon. Remember, these aren't just theoretical concepts. They're practical tools you can start using today. Take a prompt you've written recently and run it through this checklist. Is it clear and specific? Does it have context? Is it free from bias? By applying these guidelines, you'll transform your interactions with AI from simple questions into powerful, productive collaborations. Thanks for watching, and happy prompting!